October 14, 2:17 m. Black Sea Sector. No moon. No civilian traffic. No one watching. Two F-16s moved through airspace that officially didn't exist. Medium altitude. Steady speed. No afterburner. They weren't there to strike. They were TH. The tone didn't scream. It clicked. Once. Clean. Precise. Inside the cockpit, everything stayed calm. Outside, nothing was. Spike. Front sector. The symbol appeared on the display. Diamond shape. High priority. Tracking radar. Not search, not random. Focused. The S-300 had switched modes. Below them, kilometers away, a radar vehicle rotated slowly under camouflage netting. To the operators, it wasn't a target. It was geometry. To returns, consistent speed, stable altitude, predictable path, perfect math. Inside the jet, the pilot didn't pull, didn't dive, didn't brake, because sudden movement confirms fear, and fear confirms presence. Instead, he adjusted by 2 degrees, barely visible, barely measurable. The radar spike intensified, signal strength increasing. The battery was refining. Range, velocity, altitude. The engagement computer was building a firing solution. The missile wasn't in the air, but it didn't need to be, because once the system decides you are trackable, you are already late. S-300 lock confirmed. The second jet held formation. No chatter, no panic, just breathing and math. The envelope was roughly 90 kilometers. They were inside 70. If a 48-6 launch now, time to impact would be under a minute. The pilot checked energy state, fuel, speed, altitude, all within margins, all meaningless if the missile left the rail. The radar beam tightened again. This time it didn't blink, it held. Tracking, stable, continuous. Below, a command vehicle received confirmation. Above, 2 F-16s continued forward, not retreating. Not accelerating, because sometimes the most dangerous move is pretending you don't care. 4. Far below them, the S-300 battery was not just a launcher. It was a network, a command vehicle, a target acquisition radar, engagement radar, and multiple launchers spaced hundreds of meters apart. This was not a single truck with missiles. It was a coordinated machine. The radar responsible for the lock was likely the 30-6. High-frequency tracking. Precise, cold. It did not guess, it calculated. Once it establishes track, it refines continuously. Range, speed, climb rate, vector. Inside the command unit, the operator saw 2 returns. Stable, consistent, no erratic maneuvering. That meant confidence. Confidence allows engagement. The S-300 can fire different missiles. Older batteries carry the 5V55. Range up to 75 kilometers. Later variants use the 48-6. Faster, longer reach, up to 150 kilometers in optimal conditions. Speed, over Mach 6. That is not something you outrun. It climbs high first, then dives, using semi-active radar homing, meaning the ground radar continues illuminating the target. If the radar keeps you, the missile keeps you. Inside the cockpit, the pilot knew this. He did not see the missile, but he saw the math forming. The radar signal was stable now. No flicker, no sweep, continuous wave. That means guidance channel ready. If launch command is given, reaction time will be measured in seconds. The second F-16 tightened formation slightly. Still disciplined, still controlled, because panic creates signature, and signature creates confirmation. Below them, the engagement computer completed another solution cycle. Probability of kill increasing. The system did not feel fear. It only evaluated data, and the data said, track solid, target valid, engagement possible. The question was no longer detection. It was timing, and timing decides survival. Bishima. The lock held. No fluctuation. No break. Continuous illumination. That meant one thing. Engagement channel active inside the F-16. The pilot switched modes. Not defensive panic. Controlled countermeasure protocol. Electronic countermeasures active. This was not noise jamming. Noise is crude. Noise says, I am here. Instead, they used deception. DRF. Digital radio frequency memory. The system captured the radar signal, copied it, modified it, sent it back. Not stronger, just slightly wrong. Range offset by meters, velocity shifted by fractions. Enough to create doubt. The S-300 radar kept tracking, but now its data did not perfectly align. The computer recalculated, then recalculated again. Range gate pull-off initiated. Slow, gradual. The radar thought the aircraft was slightly farther, then slightly faster, then slightly lower. Nothing dramatic, just small disagreements. Inside the command vehicle, the operator noticed micro-instability. Track quality dropped from solid to moderate, still valid, but no longer perfect. The missile launch window depends on confidence. Confidence depends on clean math. The F-16s did not turn away. They did not dive. They maintained profile. Because aggressive maneuvering confirms track, instead they let the deception work. Another radar sweep. Another correction cycle. The S-300 tried tightening the beam. Higher precision. Shorter dwell time. But the DRF kept feeding adjusted reflections. Now the system faced a choice. Fire on imperfect data, or wait for clarity. Waiting increases survival. For the pilots, not for the battery. Inside the cockpit, breathing steady, hands still. No wasted movement, because in modern air defense warfare, the first side to doubt its own data loses control. And doubt had just entered the system. The lock did not break. It weakened. That was enough. Inside the S-300 battery, the engagement radar was still holding both F-16s, but the return was no longer clean. Range fluctuated. Velocity drifted. Altitude corrections appeared where none should exist. The fire control computer recalculated intercept geometry. Again and again, the numbers did not perfectly agree. For a 48-6 missile traveling at Mach 6, perfect math matters. A small miscalculation at launch becomes a massive miss at impact. Inside the cockpit, ACM remained active. Not loud, not obvious, precise. Digital deception continued feeding altered reflections back to the radar. Range gate pull-off, slow displacement, velocity gate pull-off, micro-Doppler distortion. Nothing dramatic, just enough to erode certainty. The S-300 system could fire on unstable data, but missile inventory is limited. Each launch is expensive. Each miss exposes the battery's position. The commander hesitated. Track quality dropped from high confidence to moderate, then to unstable. Still visible, still trackable, but no longer reliable. Above them, the two F-16s held course. No evasive maneuver, no chaff burst, no flare, because aggressive movement confirms lock. Instead, they let the system question itself. Another radar sweep, another correction cycle. And this time the return split. Two ghost signatures appeared momentarily on the operator's screen. Which one was real? The system attempted refinement. The ghosts collapsed back into one return. But confidence was gone. And without confidence there is no launch. The engagement window began closing. Distance increased slightly as the formation adjusted heading by only a few degrees. Not retreating. Not fleeing. Reshaping geometry. The radar tried one final refinement cycle. Maximum precision mode. Beam tightened. Signal focused. For a brief moment the track stabilized. The launch command could have been issued, but the confidence index remained below optimal threshold. The fire control computer flagged risk. Missile guidance channel integrity compromised. Probability of kill decreasing. The commander made the decision. Hold fire. Reacquire later. But later never came, because the F-16s shifted altitude by less than 300 feet, barely visible to the eye, but enough to break the corrupted intercept solution. The radar returned thinned, then flickered, then dropped from continuous wave illumination back to search mode. The spike on the cockpit display faded, not instantly, Gradually, the S-300 had lost stable track. Inside the cockpit, no celebration, no radio chatter, just one short transmission. Lock degraded. The formation continued forward. Outside the engagement envelope, alive, below them, the battery remained intact, its missiles still on the rails, but a launch never happened. Because modern air defense is not only about range or speed, it is about certainty. And certainty had failed. No missile was fired. No explosion lit the sky. No debris fell into the sea. But something important happened. A high-tier air defense system had achieved track, had built intercept geometry, had prepared for launch, and still it hesitated because the data was no longer pure. Electronic warfare did not destroy the battery, it disrupted its confidence. And in modern warfare, confidence is weaponized. The two F-16s exited the kill zone. Engines steady, fuel low, systems normal. The S-300 returned to search mode, waiting, scanning, calculating. But that night it did not fire, because sometimes victory is not a missile exploding in the sky. Sometimes victory is a radar operator choosing not to press the button.